Welcome back to the Step Brothers. I'm Wesley Clark here with Andrew Hyden. The regular season has come and gone. Ohio State and Michigan met for the 121st meeting with Ohio State coming up on top, 27 to 9. A solid game for the Buckeyes. But Andrew, immediate feelings and reactions after a disappointing end of the regular season for your Wolverines.
Um, yeah, not good. I don't think it was as much like heartbreak, like not a heartbreaking loss, but just demoralizing, I would say. Just watching your team get dominated. I think that score could have been a lot worse too, but they chose to have a 20 play, 12-minute drive at the end of the game. I think they could have ran up the score if they really wanted to. So, yeah, we'll get into it a little bit, but yeah, not good on my end.
Yeah, so Ohio State improves to 12 and 0 for the first time since 2019 when they had Justin Fields as the quarterback. They punched their ticket to the Big Ten championship, and they held Michigan to without scoring a touchdowns. It was three field goals. Julian Sayin, 233 yards, 19 for 26, three passing touchdowns after his interception. He was very efficient after that. Carnell Tate, Jeremiah Smith, kind of doing their weekly uh, gameplay. Both of them have touchdowns. Brandon Inniss was in the mix too. He had a touchdown as well. But Bo Jackson, that to me was the storyline. 117 yards on the ground,
Yeah, that was
166
surprising.
yards in total. Michigan had 163 yards in the entire game. So Bo Jackson himself had, more yards in general. And just like that, 24 straight games, the winner of the game between Ohio State and Michigan wins it with Ohio State had 186 yards and Wolverines with 100 flat. So, I mean, that's the recipe to success with
Yeah,
these two teams playing each
absolutely.
other, and especially in weather. It was snowy, it was cold, but I mean, these are two northern teams. That wasn't going to affect anyone.
Clearly not. Yeah, maybe affected us. So not you guys though. That's for sure.
Yeah, so 60, including 62 rushing yards, which was in the second half. That was Michigan. After the first quarter, Michigan only had 78 offensive yards, and I mean that's tough. That's tough. And we were talking after the game, and the corners for Ohio State that had a few holdings and pass interferences, but it's tough for any team to try to
Yeah,
move the
that was your
ball, just
offense. Yeah.
trying to hoping that the defense holds, has penalties. I mean, Sonny Styles, he led the way with six tackles. I mean, this was for me, the Ohio State wasn't necessarily trying to win the game. It was we're gonna go just do business as usual. And when you have as many future Sunday players on the team, this is what happens. It's just tough for anyone as of right now to beat Ohio State team who has allowed 93 points in 12 games. So that is
Yeah.
the least amount by any team in FBS by several double-digit points. Like it's not close. Julian Sayin broke the regular season completion record, 78.9. He beats Bo Nix, who had 77.4. So it was just a phenomenal game, phenomenal season for Julian Sayin. And so that 93 points entire season is the lowest in modern history, the second lowest that Ohio State has had all time. In 1973, they gave up 43. They didn't play 12 games. Very different era.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
It's 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
Michigan's offense is the same as it was then, probably, but
Mhm.
yeah.
But they're running. And actually, to go to Michigan's game plan first, what really just surprised me is the amount of time. Like, you got to pass the ball. I understand you're struggling running the ball, but you got to pass it.
I think, yeah, I think I have a stat. So before it was 27 to 9, so before the game was effectively out of reach. But really for Michigan, like this year, as soon as you go down by any amount of points, the game is out of reach, apparently, because that's just how it is. So there were 12 second downs in the game for Michigan before that point, and on 10 of them, it was called the run play. So that's just not how you succeed. It's just not the era of football that we're in. I mean, this has happened, and you know, I'll touch on it a little bit right now, but like the offense, in terms of passing offense, has improved, and there's definitely been flashes throughout the season. But in all the big games you played, USC, Ohio State, Oklahoma, there just hasn't been even there hasn't been, it's exactly like last year. Like we might as well have just had Davis Warren back there. Like what would be the difference? I mean, it looked the exact same as it did last year. The only difference is we had two first round defensive tackles and Jaden Fielding exists. I mean, that's it. So that's and the most frustrating thing to me is not that we lost, but like the fact that the game for Ohio State, did that look any different than a game against like Rutgers?
It felt very similar. This is what I was gonna say. It felt very similar to when we played Washington. You know, you're going to a hostile environment. Just in college football, you make a mistake. Julian Sayin throws that pick. It felt same when Brandon Ennis fumbled the ball on the punt return
Sure.
and giving the other team an opportunity pretty early in the game. But then once you get into that second half, I mean, Ohio State has had the least amount of snaps on defense of any major program, and on
Yeah.
offense, I mean you saw what they did with I mean having the ball for 12 minutes. I mean that's usually
Yeah,
unheard
just
of.
you Michigan to Michigan or you Michigan to Michigan
Mhm. So that so in a way more worried than when we played Rutgers, because of that
a little bit.
interception.
Yeah.
In the second half though, like that's when you're in the third quarter and you're in the middle of that drive, especially with the 50-yard touchdown by Carnell Tate, that's when you're like, okay, this is especially with him that wide open. It was kind of confusing, probably for regular fans. Like, okay, Michigan should be putting up more of a fight, but I mean, these guys are wide open. 4th and 5, Jeremiah Smith scores a touchdown. So they were, passing the ball in risky situations, throwing it downfield like they did against Penn State when they had 4 50-yard touchdowns
Yeah.
through the air, and they were doing that. So in a way, it was similar to Washington. They covered the spread. It was a similar score difference as well.
Yeah. Well, at least we're closer to Washington than Rutgers, I guess. So that's something to hang my hat on there.
But I know for Bryce Underwood is the first QB in 17 years to not score a touchdown in this game between Ohio State and Michigan. So that was probably it's tough for him. He had a tough
Wait,
day.
what was the stat? One more
Bryce
time.
Underwood is the first quarterback between Ohio State and Michigan when they play each other in 17 years to not score a touchdown.
I don't think Davis Warren had one last year.
Are you sure?
Because we only had
Oh,
one touchdown. It was Clellan Mullings' run, and then he threw that pick to Jack Sawyer on the goal line.
oh. So I guess for back-to-back years. Oh,
Great.
so I guess Twitter's lying to me. But
Something. Yeah. I mean that because I remember it was like he said, yeah,
but I know well, see now I don't trust Twitter, but Twitter says first time Michigan was withheld from a touchdown since September 6, 2014.
yeah, against Notre Dame. I have that one written down.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
that is
that.
true.
Now, when you think of it, it's not obviously you want to put up a fight against, your rival, but this is arguably the best defense of all time. So it's it's just tough to it had to come against Ohio State for Michigan for you guys, but I mean it's no surprise. I mean this is what Ohio State's been doing the entire year, and Illinois has been their toughest test so far.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely an elite defensive unit, but like I don't feel like we put any sort of pressure. Like I don't think we had to force Matt Patricia's hand at all. Like
In the I know in the beginning of the game, and this must happen. This might just be a common trend in college football when you start games, but Ohio State is pretty bad in the first quarter. They were the 80th ranked offense last year. Actually, just team in general, 80th ranked team last year in the first quarter, first ranked in the
yeah,
second ranked in the second half, and that's what happened again. And it happened several times during the year, and you had that 35-yard. rush for Jordan
Right.
Marshall,
First play of the game, yeah.
and you think it's okay, this is going to be a fight, but then it's like Ohio State kind of
But it all just turns into field goals, so it doesn't matter.
needs Ohio State's like you need to get punched in the face, and then slightly it was slapped, and then they just locked down the entire
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that I know for Bo Jackson, he had 94 yards after contact. That I mean, so you
Sounds right.
almost
I mean,
have
sorry. I think of the one like missed tackle that he broke that ended up being like a first and goal. I think that was like a 30 something yard run.
yeah in the beginning
I
of the
remember.
game.
Yeah,
That
that was the
was
first half.
he has been the answer for Ohio State in the run game. That was the narrative all through the media. I mean, I remember talking about it on air, and it was the run. What is the hole for Ohio State? And it was the run game. I mean, we started the year with C.J. Donaldson and James Peoples having the most carries, and now here it is as a true freshman, Bo Jackson. C.J. Donaldson did get second amount of carries. He actually had probably the best game he's had all year. But Bo Jackson, I mean, this is his third straight 100-yard gain. He's really
Yeah.
figured it out.
Yeah, he's balling.
And then I know so the last three quarters, Michigan had 78 yards, Ohio State 334. That, Michigan, just the Big Ten in general, they're known for their defense, but the explosiveness of Ohio State is tough to handle right now for anybody.
Yeah.
So, as a Michigan fan, is it is it surprising? Is it disappointing? Like, what are the emotions? It's like, if you play, if this Michigan team would have played the Alabama in 2020, something similar would have happened. But so besides the fact that you're playing Ohio State and you hate them, what is like the thoughts after this really?
Uh, yeah, I mean, just after the whole season, surprising, no, disappointing, yes. Like I was equally as disappointed after the Oklahoma and USC games. Not just because you lose, but just because you like lay down and get dominated. Like that's not Michigan. Like that's not what I've obviously like the last 3 years or the 2021 to 23 was a historic run, and I'm not saying you're gonna be at that level every year, but like the identity was at least similar. Like even I feel like the culture and identity was still there last year. We just like didn't have as much talent in place on offense. But like I thought the toughness just has fallen off a cliff, and like it clearly showed in that game. If I could I have some stats. If I could just
Go off.
what went wrong. So I mentioned the second down, like that's just I think that Sharon Moore just has this conservative identity. I think I'll get into like some of the when we talk about future outlook and why I don't think our offensive coordinator Chip Lindsey's the problem. I think Sharon Moore just always has his fingerprints all over the game plan, and I think that he has this conservative mentality. Like 5 pass attempts in the first half. I don't care who you have at quarterback. That's just what are you doing? Like what do you do? Even if I was back there at quarterback, you at least have to give the defense a different look. Like run a screen. I know I don't. I think we've run too many screens this year anyway. But like run a screen. Run a screen to your best receiver, maybe Andrew Marsh, who got one target. One target? Are you serious? Like
Yeah, yeah. I saw that. Yes, one target, no catches. I mean, the
yeah,
whole
it
time.
was a
What?
PI. And he was like, I've seen some of the film. Like he was open on a lot of concepts. Donovan McCulley was open on a lot of concepts. Bryce Underwood, 8 for 18, 63 yards, an interception. Davis Warren had 62 yards last year in this game. So if you want to draw any comparisons there, it looked pretty similar just from like a bird's eye view. Obviously, like you expect more, but and then Michigan 1 for 9 on third downs. Ohio State was 10 for 17. There, that's a
I
Josh
mean
Pate would call
that.
that a paper popper. I mean, it's all just. I mean, the box score is very telling here.
Yeah, Ohio State in the top five when it comes third down efficiency. I mean, and that's why you're able to hold the ball for 12 minutes. I mean, that's got to be top five longest drives of the year to hold the ball for 12 minutes
Has
in
to
the
be
mo.
top, maybe top one. I don't
Yeah,
know last time I've seen a 20 play drive.
I've never seen. I've watched Ohio State now for more for a decade, and I have never seen that happen before. And that's the thing, the efficiency on third down. But you also have Isaiah West. The when I knew this is probably gonna happen, winning the game because I'm always pessimistic the entire time.
Me too.
Was Isaiah West on 1st and 10 getting a first down? He got like 13, 14 yards. I'm like, I mean, they can't even stop our third string running back.
No. And yeah, our defensive line is
And you're
clearly an
going within the
issue.
tackles. You're not going
Oh
to
yeah,
you're not.
no. And that's the weakness of our defensive line is just that interior. Speaking of, 0 sacks, 3 total pressures, and a 7.4% pressure rate on Julian Sayin. I mean, I know he's a good quarterback, but there are a lot of quarterbacks with two NFL wide receivers who, if they got pressured that little, would look pretty good on any given day.
Oh yeah. I mean, you give Kyron Drones that much time, he's gonna complete
He's
passes.
lighting you up. I mean, that deep shot to Carnell Tate, I think it was just right over the outside safety in a cover three. Like
Yeah.
he was just he was Julian Sayin was just chilling there.
Yeah, I mean, he once that ball was in the air, he realized that Carnell Tate was
And he
behind him.
stepped up. He took like a two-step kind of step into the throw, and there was no one even near him. Like that pocket was it was like 7 on 7, dude. That was insane.
Yeah,
For
if I well, go ahead.
I was gonna say for reference, in 2021 to 2024 against Ohio State, Michigan's averaged a 36.6% pressure rate on dropbacks. So that shows you kind of the stark difference there. I mean that
When
was something going into the game that you had to have was pressure on one of the nation's best quarterbacks, and you got none of it.
and we watched well, actually we talked about the offensive line for Ohio State compared to Michigan. We picked the Michigan O line. I mean, everything just went wrong. Everything that we thought that Michigan had the edge on like it flopped. The O line and the running backs.
Well, I still
It
think our
just
running backs are better, but they didn't play really.
Jordan Marshall, yes. I mean, you can make the argument that Bo Jackson is gonna end up playing on Sundays at this point if he continues playing like this. But I mean, it doesn't. I mean, Isaiah West, if you play the way that the O line did, it doesn't matter who
Yeah.
you are.
And actually, I
You're
didn't
gonna
think
gain
the
yards.
Michigan O-line played that bad, actually.
No, no. And Ohio State is not doesn't have the greatest D line because compared to last year with Tulamoliau and Sawyer,
Sure.
because I mean the linebackers are much better than last year, but I mean that's really why the run game for against Ohio State in general is tough because of our Reese and Sonny Styles. It's just you got to set the edge, or you're not going to go anywhere, and they kept trying to go through the tackles.
Yep. Yeah. Just it was just an embarrassment. Um,
I know quick. I don't know if you want to get into what your bowl game may look like.
I think it's this gonna be the Citrus Bowl, the Cheez-It
Yeah,
Citrus Bowl against either Texas or Vanderbilt. Whichever one I think is ranked higher because it's a Big Ten SEC
yeah.
matchup. So based on like the rankings, I think that's gonna be Texas now because they just jumped them in the CFP rankings. And now their team is playing this weekend, obviously. So look forward to that one, I guess. But yeah, I'll leave that there. That's for a topic for a different day.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, if you want to continue talking about the game, I mean, for me, it was not to gloat, but it just seemed like a regular game, the way that they played. I mean,
Yeah, my
it's half the games they have at least a 40-yard touchdown through the air. The last three, Bo Jackson has now five, six, one, two, three, four. He has 600-yard games now on the season. So it's starting to pick up for Ohio State in general because the gaps that they have and had are starting to fill at probably the perfect time. Now that they have to play the number two team in the country who could very well beat them.
yeah.
It's a toss up. So they are in the best shape possible going into the playoffs. I'm sure that there's room for improvement, but if this is what it is, if this is the best they can play, then they would probably still be the favorite to win the national championship.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I don't know if you have any closing thoughts, but for me, I mean, Ohio State, I mean, they did exactly what they've been doing all year, especially on the defensive side. The offense is the reason why they won't win the national championship. They're the reason why they won last year because of how explosive they were in the first half, and the defenses to me will continue the way that they are.
See,
And
what's
so
scary is I don't know if that's true. I don't know if you've actually seen this offense yet. I don't know if you've seen like an aggressive,
because they're able to hold on to the ball
yeah,
for
like
so
and
long,
just maintain a lead like with the defense. Like, do you think their playbook has been opened like entirely? I don't think so. I think
if
that's
you're I don't think that they will get punched in the face and be down by 14. That just doesn't make sense why the defense would allow that. So very possible. I mean, last year, I mean, I was at the Tennessee game and what we did against Tennessee, who I mean, they were much better than Tennessee, but to go up,
they had good corners though, where they were supposed to.
yeah, yeah, Jeremiah Smith went off, but Trayvon Henderson, like the Junkins, like all these guys, I mean, it felt like the most explosive Ohio State game I had ever been to, setting the tone with the offense of the defense, which has been Ryan Day's philosophy the entire since 2019 when he, got the reins from Urban Meyer. So maybe you possibly, but you think that the defense would be if Ohio State loses, there's no way that it would be the defense to do that.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, that gives you a pretty high floor, I think,
It does.
in every single game.
Because I mean, let's say you're in a close matchup and Julian Sayin throws an interception like he did. I mean, forcing the ball like that cost you, and that's why I think that Ohio State would lose.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
Yeah,
because of the first
no, I agree.
time since 1975 that that a team has held their opponents to under 17 points. It's 1975 Georgia. I mean,
Mhm.
Florida. So,
Yeah, no, I
but
agree.
they are complete for sure. That's
Absolutely. All right, you want to move on? Do you have any like moving forward points? I mean, I know you kind of there's not much like change that you're looking for, I guess.
no. I mean, be I mean, just no mistakes when you have the ball. I mean, that's it. I trust the defense, and I did last year and again this year. Why they haven't shown any reason why you want to trust them. But we can get into Big Ten championship. I stay in the Big Ten championship for the
Well,
first time since. Oh,
let me go through the let me give some future for Michigan
wait. Oh, that.
before we just wrap up my
Oh,
season.
oh yeah, we did the future. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
just some season thoughts, like what I want to see going forward, and what I think a lot of Michigan fans will want to see going forward. So I think the 9-3 season is very deceiving. I think the schedule that we had, it's a failure in my eyes. I think a lot of people would feel that way. I know people are trying to be optimistic, and say things like, "Well, we had injuries and our team is just so young, youngest team in the Big Ten." I'm done hearing that. I'm done. First of all, it's the last week of the season. No one's really a freshman anymore. Also, who also is a super young team that all their best players are underclassmen? Ohio State. So there's no excuse. Like their entire team will be back next, or their best weapons on offense, especially, will be back next year. Um, but yeah, I think going back to what I said, like they Michigan failed every big test they had. Oklahoma, USC, Ohio State, and that was really, I mean, it was a 3 game schedule. Like everything else, yeah, we underperformed in against Purdue and Northwestern, Michigan State, but were we ever going to lose those games? Like probably not, just because of talent. I think the only really complete performance was against Central Michigan and Maryland. That was really
Washington.
that was really just a second half performance, though.
Okay.
Looking back on it, first half wasn't great. Um, I do think that offense, like as a whole, like I said, has been better, was better this year than it was last year. Like last year, there were zero flashes ever. This year, you kind of saw it, but one, it wasn't consistent, and two, it didn't really turn into points. I mean, we had 9 passing touchdowns this season. That's insane. Last year we had 12. How is that possible? Like I don't understand it. And I think a combination of a few things. One, I think the game plan is just super conservative. That's a problem. A lack of weapons on the outside and at tight end, I think, plays a part in it as well. Obviously, we know that's an issue. And then I think an inconsistency in pass protection, I think, was a part of it. I think they started to kind of figure some things out towards the end of the year. I think Bryce simply not seeing the field well was another key factor. And those things all go hand in hand, right? Like as a coordinator, you're calling plays and you see that your quarterback is not playing well or he's missing open receivers, and then you don't have the same, I guess you don't have the same hand, like it's the same cards to play in terms of the pass game if you see that your quarterback isn't doing so well. So I think it's just a systemic issue. Like I tweeted about this. I think it's not just like an offensive issue, but I think it's just a philosophy issue. Like just this run. It's not a run first. There are run first teams that can pass the ball. We're a run only team that just it seems like Sharon Moore just hates the idea of having to pass the ball at all unless we absolutely have to. I mean, we're running on every second and eight, and that's got to change. I mean, he's going to be coaching for his job next year, and that development is going to be it's going to have to turn around. It just has to, and I think he knows that. But
I think
yeah,
that
thoughts on
going
that?
into yeah, I think that going into this game against Ohio State, knowing what you're about to face, you have to open the playbook for both sides, run game and pass. And if you make mistakes, that's just how it goes because you're playing the best defense in the country. But if you don't do that, this is exactly what happens because you don't even score a touchdown.
Right. Yeah, and there's I have my issues with Wink Martindale too, and the defense schematically. But it also, I think our defense is good enough. Like, I think I'm just comparing it to the 2023 defense, which is so elite. I think our offense and our special teams really just has to do a better job of helping our defense out. I mean, the time of possession was literally 40 to 20 in favor of Ohio State. Like that's you're not doing your defense any favors by I know it's because they can't get off the field on third down. I get that, but um, the offense has got to improve, and we'll see what happens. I'll talk, in the coming weeks, I'll talk about portal needs because it's not going to be open for a while with this later January window, and we'll see if any coaching changes start to be made. Maybe things I think should happen, but I'll save all that for right now, because yeah, we'll save
It'll
all
be
that
it'll be a
talk.
long off season. We'll have a ton to
It
go
will.
over.
It will. Yeah.
We'll have, the recruiting side is heating up, expectations for next year. But
Yeah. All right, I'm off my soapbox, so we can move on.
yeah, so Ohio State wins 27-9 in their 121st meeting, going to the Big Ten championship for the first time since 2020. Where they will face Indiana and Kirk Signetti, not something that I thought would be said if 5 years ago. I know they had Michael Penix when they were number 9 when they went to Columbus, but to be this now back-to-back years of being a very solid program, better than last year, it's it's good and it's good to see, but it's kind of annoying at the same time because I mean when we play Iowa and Purdue in the Big Ten championship and you're like Texas Tech a 15.5 point favorite, it's kind of nice, but that's
Yeah,
not the
those
same
days are
now.
over. Yeah.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And so that game is at 8. Fox, Joel, and Gus Johnson will be on the call. Big Noon will be there. Just business as usual for those guys. Now, one thing I will say, and I understand that the SEC and ESPN are in bed together, but game day should be there between number 1 and number 2 for the first time since '09 with, what was it, Florida and who did Florida play that year? Florida and Bama. Yeah,
Mm.
in '09 with Urban Meyer. I mean, I'm glad. I mean, I'm glad that Ohio State's playing in this game, not because they can win the Big Ten championship, but I want them to play a really tough team before they go in the playoff. Because we saw what they did last year, coming off a loss, they improved, they adjusted, and then it went in the national championship. So to me, it's you win this game, you win the Big Ten championship, you lose this, okay, adjust. And here we go. Here's we are looking at the big prize, something where hardware, there's more hardware looking in front of you. There's t-shirts to buy for the fans. Like that, that's more important. So
Can we talk about how crazy that what you just said is too? Like the game against Michigan, the biggest game of the year, that's just business as usual. So we have to go find a real test, someone really to play. So we're gonna go play Indiana.
I know.
Like, could you imagine saying that like 2 years ago, 3 years ago? It'd be insane. I mean, they're a 3-win team a couple years ago.
Yep, I mean they're bottom feeder, bottom of just FBS in total wins.
Yeah.
Like it's Kirk Cignetti coming from James Madison has turned the program around. Last year, he, you know, talked his smack before playing losing and but playing Notre Dame in the first round of the playoffs. He said, Google me, I win. All this stuff that he said Michigan sucks, Ohio State sucks, Purdue sucks. He end up losing to Ohio State last year, but here he is having the opportunity to get his revenge against the number one ranked team
Can
in the
you remind me,
country.
was that game against Indiana last year? Was that at Indiana or was that at home?
That was at home.
Okay. I just couldn't remember.
Yes, Indiana scored on the first drive, and they didn't score again until their last drive. Caleb Downs had a punt return touchdown.
That's right. Yeah, I
I
remember
mean,
that.
it's the they always talk about the middle eight. The last 4 minutes of the second half, the first four, and the last four in the first half, first
Yeah.
four in the second half. I mean, again, that's where Ohio State dominates, and that's what happened last year. Indiana, great team, but that's what Ohio State did last year to them. And I don't know if I'm expecting the same outcome. I mean, it's around 5.5, 4.5. FanDuel has them 3.5. It's gonna stay within one possession.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you thinking? I mean, back to back double digit seasons for Indiana. Not something that we would think, but I mean, look at their defense is right up there statistically with Ohio State.
Yeah.
Fernando
I'm thinking,
Mendoza is as of right now, the Heisman favorite with up there with Julian Sayin and Jeremiah Love.
yeah.
So
I'm thinking, I don't know. This is an interesting one. Um, this reminds me actually of what I thought was going to be the Oregon versus Penn State game, where you kind of don't know a lot. Like, obviously, we know a lot about both teams, but you don't know how they're going to match up really. And it's kind of like it's a Big Ten defining game, and then obviously Penn State does ends up being Penn State this year. But that's kind of what it reminds me of. Is like this is just a matchup between two good teams, and we'll see. Like I'm in kind of a we'll see mode. Obviously, Ohio State is more like blue chip talent. I think Indiana's blue chip ratio is like 8%, which I thought was even lower than I thought it was. Um, but yeah, they have some dudes, and they're going to be a lot better than Michigan up front this year. Especially they got some dudes. I know you have Kamara here, who has been like a little bit injury prone this year. But he's a beast. And they have, Pons, obviously, Fisher. They have some good defensive guys, and they're really well coached, obviously. And yeah, just schematically, like it just feels like everything clicks for them. So I think it's going to be a good test for you guys. And I'm sure at this point, if I was in your shoes, I'd be getting a little bored at this point. 12 games in of just how the season is going. Maybe
well,
not.
well, that's why I do like this. I just think it's healthy for the Ohio State team to play number two Indiana. Great for college football, but for a team like this is what you need to before you go in the
Yeah.
playoff to see
Yeah, you
what
don't
you're in.
want you don't want your first test really. I mean, if you want to call Texas a test, I guess you can, but you don't want your first test since August to be in an elimination game. You know what I mean?
No, exactly. It's a blessing that both of these teams are playing in this game because it's not the four-team format. And although both these teams would have probably made the four-team,
Yeah.
it you don't have to worry about that. So both these teams, whether or not they win or lose, whether if Ohio State wins or lose by 20, they're still in the playoff. And given that what will probably happen, one of these teams wins by 7, 6, they'll still get a bye. So,
Sorry.
why didn't do it?
Uh,
I didn't do it the other way around.
yeah. Sorry. Anyway, yeah. I mean, both teams I think are going to get a first round bye regardless,
Mhm.
unless maybe one team loses by like if it's a
Yeah.
Cardale Jones against Wisconsin in 2014 type of game.
That's the only that would be the only way,
Yeah.
which I just don't see it happening
No.
unless Indiana play like they did against Penn State and Ohio State just it is out there being explosive. But I still don't think they'll do that because like they did against Michigan, if you're up by 14, Ohio State's going to try to do another double digit drive in terms of minutes.
Yeah.
But like we said, the both sides with these wide receivers, everyone knows Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith, Omar Cooper. I might say this
Hmm.
guy's last name wrong, but Elijah Surratt or
Surratt.
Surratt,
Yeah.
yeah, Elijah Surratt. These guys, I mean, this core that they have, I mean, these
Very,
guys,
very solid. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, probably, I mean, I think of like Parker Washington that Ohio State had to play with Penn State. He was tough to deal with. That's kind of what they're going to deal with here. Just not household names, but they will beat you if you take them lightly.
Yeah.
So the whole OSU corners they'll have the biggest challenge. They'll have the biggest
Yeah.
challenge.
And Indiana's gonna be looking to prove something. I mean,
Yes,
they
they
want to let
do.
everybody in college football know that they're for real.
Yes, Will Howard put out a cigarette last year on his cleat, and
Right.
Signetti will want to get his revenge.
That too. Yeah.
I know we talked about D'Angelo Pons. He had a great game last year against them. I mean, really,
Yeah, he's good.
he covered Carnell and Jeremiah Smith last year. Yeah, okay, I actually have it right here.
Yeah, it's written down in the
Both, both,
notes.
both had one catch, 10 and 9 yards. I mean, Trayvon Henderson had a great game. Obviously, Emeka Buka was their guy on the passing game that day, and it was the pound game that Ohio State can play, and that's why they won. This will just be different. I mean, they'll have something to prove, and all around just more complete than last year for Indiana.
Yeah. Are we doing predictions?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go with my boys. I Right now it's alive on DraftKings is 4.5, so we'll go with that as we talk right now. Maybe we'll adjust. Of Ohio State. Urban Meyer said today, you score 3 touchdowns, you win for Ohio State just in general. I think they win 21-13.
I'll take I'll take Ohio State to win, Indiana to cover. Take like a 27-24 type of game. But I will
You
be
think
rooting for Indiana. So
you think
or
Ohio
lose
State gives up that many points? That's just the one thing I wonder.
20,
Like you
27,
say, Indiana scores 24 points.
27 or 24. Yeah, 24. I mean, that's not a lot.
You really? That'd be
I'm
crazy
putting
to
my
see.
prediction in. We'll see. We'll see.
That would be crazy to see,
We'll
but I
see.
mean, this will be the toughest test for Ohio State for sure. Just glad they're playing it. One thing I want to go over before we get to our final bracket reveal for college football playoff, because the next time we talk, it will be out. What this game means compared to what it did when we first started watching college football. We're not that old, so my first season watching Ohio State happened to be, I remember 2012 when them going undefeated. I don't remember any of the games. My first game was in 2014. They win the national championship. They went beat, like you said, they beat Wisconsin by 50 plus. I think 56 nothing comes to mind. What that game means now, Ohio State had to win 50 to nothing against Wisconsin to get in. And Urban Meyer knew that because they were the fourth team. They were the last team getting in. They lost to Virginia Tech. Um,
Right. Yeah. Remember that.
yeah, it was my brother's wedding. I remember I was pissed. And now the stakes aren't as high, and that's because of the expanded playoff. Just in general, these conference games don't mean as much, and you can go over to the SEC. It means a little bit more because if Alabama gets walloped, then they might be out, but it still just doesn't mean as much as it used to, and it's
Yeah.
disappointing
Yeah.
as a whole.
Yeah. I mean, I know Ohio State hasn't won the Big Ten since 2019, and they're going to be looking to do that. I mean, I think they're hungry for one. Obviously, Indiana's hungry. I mean, Indiana's hungry in every game they play because they're new to the scene. So, but yeah,
Yes.
it definitely doesn't mean much as it would, especially if it was a four-team playoff where like both teams were like 11-1 coming into this game. And I know it was
Mm,
like used to have divisions in the 14 playoff
yeah.
anyway. But
Yes, it
still,
would. I guess if the winner would get a bye, then it would be more, but it's not the case. Like this time, it's really like as if it goes as expected, Ohio State Indiana, like I said, wins by a touchdown. Like I actually don't expect the loser to drop below three.
I don't know if I mean, yeah, I think maybe Georgia would. It kind of depends. Like if it's like a really tight game
Why? Like,
with what happened to Texas A&M, like you might even just like say Indiana wins, like it might just be like a
yeah,
switch
that's the
one and
thing
two.
because that doesn't mean that you lost to the number one team. Yeah, I mean, you're not. Who says you're better? Georgia's better than you. You only lost to the number one team. Either way, the number one team is going to be the winner of this game. But yeah, his final thoughts. Ohio State won in 2020 to beat Northwestern with Trey Sherman, and we'll try to do it again with Bo Jackson, true freshman. But last segment before we get out of here, obviously the talk right now in college football, the rankings just came out a few hours ago when we recorded this. We saw the rankings. It makes sense. It somewhat makes sense. We saw what we thought some fishy rankings. I know you mentioned about Alabama being ranked nine, some wiggle room, but we're gonna go through our 12 team. I added some politics in it as well as most deserving, but let's go.
Yeah,
We'll go
for
through. We'll go three. I'll
the
give three. You give three, and then so we'll just go
okay,
back
well, I
and
think our
forth.
first like eight are going to be the same, but
Probably, yeah.
just to preface, I did mine based on like what I think is going to happen, and then I'll talk like what I think should happen, but
And
it's not what I think will
and
happen.
mine are not in order. I didn't do mine in order. Did you?
Not totally in order,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
I have like the first eight in just how it was in the ranking.
Yeah, that's fine. So Ohio State, Indiana, doesn't matter what happens, Big Ten championship. Those will 1, 2, and then Georgia,
Georgia, yeah. Texas Tech, Oregon, Ole Miss,
Ole Miss, and then I have A&M in there as well,
A&M, and Oklahoma. Yep.
and Oklahoma's in there. So
And
this is where this is what
this is where
yeah.
now it hits the fan. Like now it this is insane. I mean, there are program there's teams that will get hosed in this.
Oh yeah. So I have right now 18 8 teams still listed on here. I mean,
You've eight like potential.
you can actually have nine because the group five because the American Conference loser. So there's nine teams that are not that in total left for four spots. That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
So my next on the list is University of Virginia. They beat Duke.
They beat Duke, they're in. Yeah,
They already have beaten Duke this year.
yeah. They killed them.
Duke is not good on defense. They're
They're
just
7-5, and they're playing for. I don't think they're playing for a spot in the college football playoff, but they're playing for a conference championship.
now it's funny you say that because my colleagues at SiriusXM, I'm with the Major League Baseball station, but the college station, the guy said if one of our hosts said if Duke wins, they thinks that they're in.
I just disagree.
I think if they had three losses,
Yeah, that's
yes.
possible. I mean, that's Clemson last year had three losses.
If four losses, well, no, Clemson only had two.
They had three.
Are you sure?
Yeah, South Carolina. I think they lost to Louisville, and then someone else. They definitely were 9-3 going into the conference championship game
Oh,
against
oh,
SMU.
Anyway, you can. I have UVA, but you go ahead. While
All right, I'll give one team. Winner of North Texas and Tulane. That winner's in regardless. I think that it's clear that they prioritize that the American Conference over the Sun Belt. So I think it'd be if Duke were to win, I think then you slide JMU in. So I think it's either UVA or JMU, assuming
so
JMU wins
okay,
their
okay.
conference championship.
So, but in your 12, you have the American. You have Tulane. I have North Texas.
I didn't even pick the game. Like I'm
Okay.
just saying the winner of that game.
Yeah, yeah. I have UVA and North Texas in, and then the next two spots. It's just
Yeah.
because like I'll talk about this one first and household program. They weren't there last year. They went 9-3. They lost to you guys in their bowl game. I just think that this is where I said that I think politics comes into it because when it comes to the program, when it comes to the SC championship and what that means, you got there. If they lose, Alabama is who I'm talking about. If they
Mhm.
lose in the SC championship, then why even play in it?
I
They
think they're
re
in. And I think what you saw with the flipping of Bama up to 9 and Notre Dame back down to 10, which should have been how why was Notre Dame above Bama in the first place? Like I get the FSU loss, but just no. That should have never been a thing. I think they're making sure to give Bama some wiggle room. So I think if they lose to Georgia, they just drop a spot. They're still in the field. And if they win, like we'll see who they could jump.
I watched that entire Auburn game. Now, the last four matchups at Auburn have been within one score. They, but just going through quickly with the schedule with Alabama, 17 points against Tennessee, barely beat Missouri, beat Vanderbilt by 16, beat Georgia by 3. That's the big win right there.
Yeah,
That win
insanely
against
one-dimensional
Georgia.
though. Just insanely
Oh yeah,
one-dimensional.
they can only pass the ball, and they lost to Oklahoma by 2 back to back years. I still think that they unless unless Georgia did what Ohio State did to Wisconsin, that's the only way that I see them losing. But I just don't think it's gonna
Yeah.
happen. They're good enough. Georgia to me also has holes. That is a
Yeah,
two and a
I don't see
half
Georgia
point
just
spread.
blowing them out,
No,
especially
Georgia.
with the way Kirby Smart handles Alabama. I don't see that
Especially
happening.
how
I think
Georgia
Bama's in.
played Georgia Tech. I mean, come on,
Yeah. Yeah.
16-9. They had a Hail Mary opportunity. Georgia Tech did. They had an opportunity to tie the game against
Yeah.
Georgia Tech. So it's not going to happen. I do have Georgia winning that game, but
I would take Georgia too.
Alabama is in. So now the final one.
Now what do you do with
Eh,
the spot? Yeah, I don't even know.
So who we have left is how I have left. Tulane out. They lost to North Texas in my scenario. James Madison, Texas, BYU, and Notre Dame and Miami. BYU, Texas. I'm sorry. Like it's just
Texas is
you
out.
can't.
They're out.
Steve Sarkisian was on Colin Coward's podcast. He's been a politician since they beat A&M, saying why did we go play Ohio State if we're not in? Because if they did play Ohio University, they probably would be in
Probably,
over
but also you lost to Florida. Like I don't
not and you lost to Florida, but you also went to back-to-back overtime games, back-to-back weeks against Kentucky and Mississippi State.
yeah, and you got blown out by Georgia. Like I think this committee especially like they clearly take eye tests into account. Like they clearly care about like how you look during games, and Texas has not looked good in most of their games.
No, they do not. So Texas to me is out.
I
I'm
agree.
just gonna cross them out.
Which and Vandy's out.
But yeah, I don't even have Vandy in here,
Yeah,
to be
which
honest
is
with you.
I mean 10-2 Vandy, like come on. Like that's just the if
I
Michigan's
mean,
not in the playoff, I'm going for Vandy. I mean, I'm riding with them. So that's unfortunate that they're not, 10-2 Vandy. I think that's losses to
Texas,
Bama and Texas,
yeah,
like
Vanderbilt lost to Texas. They
both
beat
on the
Missouri.
road.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they went to overtime with Auburn, and they beat Tennessee. Good amount. But
Two.
anyway, JMU to me is out because I have UVA winning. and
Yeah, but
really
if
don't.
if UVA does not win, I think JMU is in over Duke.
Yeah, sure. Now this is where it comes down. Miami, BYU, Notre Dame. Why does BYU not get in? It sucks, but the how they see the Big 12 is just not like the ACC, but it's still not good enough. You got to be what Texas Tech does to their opponents. You got to be blowing them out. And BYU has not been doing that. Either way, I think Texas Tech, what I think it's like 13 and a half point spread. I think that they win by 14.
Yeah,
And
I
that's just
mean,
not good enough.
and with just the position, like BYU is not going to lose and jump into the field. So I
Oh
think
no.
they have to beat Texas Tech, which like you have an opportunity. Like that's what if you're a BYU fan, like what else are you asking for? You have the
This is a
opportunity; it's
perfect
right in front of you.
opportunity.
And I think
Now,
Texas Tech would stay in if they lost.
I don't even know. So that would kick out whether or not. So I'm just gonna put out. I have Miami in the playoff. They beat Notre Dame head to head. They statistically have a better defense and offense than Notre Dame.
Yeah, I think. Ugh, I have a feeling the committee is just going to put. I mean, it should be Miami. I think head to head. I think this has to be the general consensus. Like head to head has to be the most important thing. Why?
Largest margin of victory against common opponents. So they common opponents were NC State, Syracuse, Pitt, and Stanford. Miami had a larger margin of victory, three of the four of them.
Yeah, but
Syracuse
that's what
was
I'm.
the only
The
one.
fact that you even have to get into that is just crazy. Like they have the same record and they won the head to head against similar schedules. Like
I
it's.
know. No, trust me. It's complete. They're full of crap if they don't put. Why play each other? Why play each other? And also, total defense goes to Miami. Scoring defense goes to Miami. Pass yards per game, Miami. Pass touchdown. Uh, you know, offense. That all goes to Miami, and they beat them in the head to head. I
Yeah,
mean,
and if
it
you're
literally
Notre
doesn't matter.
if you're Notre Dame and you get in, like uh, there you are telling everybody that there's really no point in being in a conference.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Just-
I mean, and then join a conference, join the ACC.
yeah.
You beat everyone in the ACC except Miami. You would have been in. You would be in. The you'd be playing my UVA right now, and you probably beat them because to me, Notre Dame is better than these teams. A lot of these teams, like I think they'd beat OU. OU's extremely
I think they might
inconsistent.
still be better than Miami, but that's just
It's
not
sure that
that's not the
too.
point though.
They lost,
It's not built on hypotheticals. Like this isn't the SEC. This is the playoff.
and and that's why I have Miami in. Is that who you have in? Is that do
I
we
put Notre
have?
I put okay, well I put BYU if that goes. So you're gonna have two Big 12 teams if BYU loses, and then this point is irrelevant. Okay, but I put Notre Dame, but Miami should definitely be in. But just with the way they've put like they're, I don't know if you've seen like like they call it like comparative pools, where like they kind of the way they do the rankings is you take like teams and you put similar teams and then you rank them against each other, then you go to a next kind of group. And their thing is that Notre Dame and Miami just haven't been in the same group yet, so they haven't been
You're
compared to each
talking
other.
about when they do like the records in the same group by record.
I don't even know if it's by record, but like just overall. Like Vandy was ahead of Texas, but then Texas moved up, so now they're in the same pool as Vandy. Texas has head to
Right.
head, so they jump them. But Notre Dame and Miami there's one team in between them. I think it's BYU. Is that what it is? How are they not being compared against each other yet?
I mean, they got to make this decision. Yes, it goes Notre Dame 10, BYU 11, 12, Miami. And
How much closer do they have to get?
like you said about what they did with Alabama, giving them some wiggle room, the same thing they did with North Texas. They put them right before JMU, telling JMU, you're not in. Like I love unless if an upset
Yeah.
happens, unless an upset happens, you are not in.
Yeah.
And and I'm glad they did that because Tulane's been ranked for like 2, 3 weeks now. So that tells you the American is better than the Sun Belt. That sees where they're going with this. So yes, they have Notre Dame and Miami out, but it doesn't make sense. And there has been over the years with these rankings, even with teams, obviously there's a 14 playoff where it's like all of a sudden, you're either 5 and 6 team. So I'm hoping that they do that with Miami, just all of a sudden. Oh, actually, yeah, you're in. Because
Yeah.
because with I know I got a text from a Notre Dame fan asking if he thinks that they're in, if I think that they're in. And I said no,
Yeah.
I don't.
I
So
don't know.
they're definitely worried.
They've just had Notre Dame over Miami this whole time, and neither team is playing this weekend. Like you think that I think, well, one, this committee is absolutely praying that BYU beats Texas Tech. They're praying
Oh yeah, it would make it a
so
lot
they don't have to
easier.
deal with it. But I don't think that's going to happen because I think Texas Tech is just a lot better than BYU in my eyes.
They were hoping A&M would have won. They actually we're definitely glad Ohio State won because this would be hell on earth for them.
Oh, well, I think a 10-2 Michigan with a win over Ohio State would have jumped Notre Dame or Miami.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But let's say if Michigan won, BYU won, Virginia wins, like what? Like then there's so much because then you take out probably then you maybe take out Bama if they
Yeah,
lose.
yeah,
But why do that when Oklahoma didn't make the SC championship? I understand Oklahoma beat Bama, but they didn't go to they didn't even go to the SEC championship. But now, so all of a sudden, the SC championship, in fact, it affects how the if you make the playoff or not. So it's just it always works out for the committee. It really does. It did last year for them. I think Ole Miss was
yeah.
the team that got out, but they had 3 losses, and Clemson with 3 losses, they won the ACC, and SMU had 2 losses, so they were in.
I
They
thought
use, but I don't think it's gonna work out for them. They're gonna have to. Someone's out.
what's interesting is that I thought with a 12-team playoff, you would take away the feeling that someone got like screwed, right? And you'd end up just with like teams getting lucky that they're in. And here we are in year two, and like multiple teams, I think. I'm not putting Texas in there. Texas does not deserve to be in.
Yeah,
But I think multiple teams are just getting screwed here.
if you
I
don't
think
have double-digit wins going into the CFP bracket reveal, then you're not getting in, and that includes the conference championship because that's what happened with Clemson.
yeah.
If you don't have 10 wins, then at
Right, but
least,
even so, I mean, I know Miami and BYU actually were 10-2 last year and they didn't get in. So, but obviously, like this Notre Dame situation, like I really hope the committee doesn't screw this one up with Notre Dame and Miami. Otherwise, it's gonna be a real problem.
and they have already done this with the ACC. We all remember what happened when they left Florida State out. Now
Yeah,
there's questions about, Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss. They don't have your head coach. Are you really, can you play your best ball without your coach?
which is just dumb on its own. Like, what are you gonna take Ole Miss out?
They won't take Ole Miss out because they have 1 loss, but if they had 2 losses, I think it'd be more of a conversation.
Yeah,
But I think that was just more comparing. Oh, here we go again. The ACC is about to get screwed because there is a ton of money implications now because these conferences get paid if they have. I believe if you have 4 teams, you get paid more than a conference with 3 teams. So if
Mm,
UVA they win, they're in. They don't get Miami in after beating Notre Dame, then I think that might cost them like 10 to 20 million dollars,
yeah.
and that money is a lot. It doesn't mean much for the Big Ten, but it does for the ACC.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we'll be here to talk about it after they're revealed next week. So we'll see. I don't know. There's gonna
But
be
I mean, I know you don't really care. The final thing with do you care where Michigan is? 19.
no, I don't. It could be
Okay.
100th for all I care. It doesn't matter.
Alrighty. Well,
Things
that
gonna
was a
change
good show.
regardless. Yeah. The one thing, can I say one final point?
Yeah.
The one thing about all this playoff mess that I don't like is it's becoming so much about like politics and head coaches trying to vouch for their teams. Like it takes just more and more away from the players. You know what I mean? Like they're the ones that this is their careers. Like they're the ones that are on the field. Like imagine Ole Miss players like hearing like, well, should they really be in? They're like, we just won 11 games in the SEC. Like, are you serious?
Because if we played college football, I would go to Ohio State because of the program, not because of the head coach. And there are people like that at Ole Miss. I'm here to win with the program, not because of the coach.
Yeah.
So it would be absolutely unfair. It's too bad. So I mean, we'll see what
Yeah,
happens.
that's all I got. But yeah, we'll see. I'm excited to see. I hope that Texas Tech wins just so the committee just is in hell. I would enjoy that.
You want BYU? You said BYU.
No, I want Texas Tech so that Notre Dame and Miami are put right up
Oh,
against each other.
oh yeah, yeah, that's right. Because BYU and then both of them are out. Yes, that would make it a lot easier, but that based off how they played when game day was there, I don't think that's gonna happen.
What? You don't think what's gonna happen?
BYU beating Texas Tech.
No, I'm saying I hope Texas Tech beats
No,
BYU.
I know.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I'm just adding, like, I don't think it's gonna happen. Like, I don't think that the committee's gonna get a pass on this like they have for years, where it panned out for them.
yeah. I don't think so either, but we'll see.
I'm excited. I won't be able to watch it because I'll be watching the Chiefs Texans live. Actually, and you'll
On
be.
Saturday?
Is it on Saturday?
Is it? I'm assuming the Chiefs
Are they
game is
doing?
on
Are
Saturday.
they doing it? Are they doing it after? No, because the Big Ten championship game is at 8. Are they actually doing it after?
It's 11 a.m. The Big 12 championship or noon Eastern.
Oh, I meant the CFP reveal.
Oh. Yeah, okay. I was confused. I was like, what?
Yeah, I
Uh,
won't be able to watch the CFP committee reveal. Not that I mean, I'll know on Saturday where Ohio State is, so it won't really matter. But
yeah, I'll probably just watch Michigan get put into the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl and crash out, and it'll be a great day. So we'll see.
yeah, it's too bad it's not the Pop Tart Bowl that goes to the Big 12 and the ACC. Not that that matters, but I
Yeah,
do enjoy watching that
could have
game.
Pop-Tarts. Unfortunately, not for us. Winners get Pop-Tarts, not us.
You guys do get Cheez-Its though.
If we win, I mean, we're playing Texas probably.
That might be tough.
Could be
Actually,
tough.
do you think what's a better matchup for you? I mean, we'll talk about that next week, but
We can let's save it.
well, I guess you'll know who you're playing though.
Okay.
So,
Who's a better
would you
matchup for us, Texas or Vandy? I mean, I think we'd have a better shot against Vandy,
you think
but
that?
it's we're gonna get Texas.
Yeah.
Neither team plays, so and Texas is higher now, so I think we're just gonna play Texas.
Yep. All right. Well,
All right, well,
good show. Go follow us on. Go subscribe. Follow. We got Twitter. StepBros_pod. I had
that's the
to
one.
come. Yeah, there you go. Follow Instagram. Andrew_Hayden. The Wes Clark Show on Instagram. Go leave a like, comment. If let us know what you think the CFP committee will do. I'm very interested in other people's
Yeah,
perspectives, especially Notre Dame fans and Miami fans. But
don't
yeah,
I
let us
don't
know.
want Notre Dame fans talking to me. You can talk to him.
Well, they haven't beat us since 1936, so they don't have much to say to Buckeye fans. But thank you for watching the Step Brothers. I'm Wesley here with Andrew Hayden, and we will see you next week, same time. So enjoy the conference championships and the CFP rankings bracket reveal. And we'll see you guys later.